Who does Zillow fear? Nicole, is it Keller Williams? Is Zillow afraid of Keller Williams?
They're not.
Are they afraid of Compass?
They're not.
Are they afraid of Realogy?
They're not.
No.
Are they afraid of Byron Lazine?
No. There's a few people that might know my name there, but I'm sure not all of them. Definitely not Rich Barton. Rich. Maybe he does. I've met him once.
But you think he's afraid of you, though?
I don't think he's afraid of me at all.
I didn't say if they knew your name.
Zillow might be afraid of Greg Schwartz. Left the company, now just had the largest funded. He's going to compete in this space. We got to talk about that.
There's lots of things that I think we're earmarking for next week.
What about Realtor.com? They afraid of them?
No. I mean, are you?
I wouldn't be. How about Open Door? Of course. Brad Inman says, and we'll link up the article. Brad Inman says, of course. Both companies are pioneering the budding iBuying movement. So, of course, they're afraid of Open Door, but Zillow faces a bigger threat.
Much bigger threat.
That would be CoStar. Maybe not a lot of residential agents have heard of CoStar.
I've never heard of it until today, to be honest.
CoStar owns companies like LoopNet, which you've heard of.
Of course.
A lot of residential agents may have heard of that when they're getting a commercial listing for the first time. Like, how do I list this? And you have to list it on LoopNet, and they charge you absurd amount of money to do so. So they own LoopNet. They own landsandfarm.com, which I think is named something else. It used to be landandfarm.com. Now it is Lands of America. I think they merged those two companies, bought the whole thing. They also own apartments.com, which, by the way, apartments.com is beating Zillow's apartment platform, which is called, what is the name of the Zillow one? Do we know? We know. Nicole, we know.
I don't know.
You don't know? Why don't you know?
I don't.
Lands of America was the other one. All right. Anyways, they're beating Zillow's rental platform. But here's why they're ultimately afraid of CoStar. CoStar right now is in talks, and this was reported last week, that they are going to acquire CoreLogic. CoreLogic is a data giant. That's what CoStar is. They're a data giant in the commercial world,
right?
Apartments, land, all that kind of stuff. CoreLogic has 600,000 real estate agents as clients, and 17 of the 20 largest MLS organizations are their client. This would put CoStar in the home listing business overnight. The company also, Nicole, has a ton of cash. Zillow's market cap is $20 billion. CoStar's is $32 billion. Okay, so like almost a third, larger than a third bigger than Zillow in terms of market cap. They also, Zillow Rentals was the name of the Zillow platform.
Well, that makes sense, right? I mean,
that does make a lot of sense.
Kind of makes sense.
They also have $6 billion in cash. They are profitable. They're not going to be, it's not like Open Door where they are going out and raising money. It's not like some of these other Compass who they're just not afraid of, who's been raising money this whole time. They have cash. They've been in business, CoStar, since 1987. Andrew Florence, who's the CEO, is a lot like a Rich Barton. He, in Brad's word, is a Wall Street darling. Both are charming, but sometimes ruthless. He's been in the game for 30 plus years of doing this. He's from Princeton University, and this would be the first major acquisition that would put CoStar in the residential space and really give Zillow a direct competitor. You brought up when we were talking about this pre-show, like, oh, so is it going to be the same like LoopNet model where you're basically paying to place your listing? I don't think that would be the game, because who's going to go to a new site and pay to put their listing when I can just put it in the MLS, it goes on Zillow for free, right? As a real estate listing agent or a listing broker.
Right.
I think they'd have to come in and compete with Zillow. They'd have to have a platform, right, for attention, for sure. And Brad, I think, finishes it off like, whatever the journey, CoStar is on the move. Don't be surprised if someday in the future you wake up and find yourself buying ads from them on your home listing. So they're going to have a platform that gets eyeballs from the consumers. But, I mean, as they watch Zillow in this flex model doing the referrals, do they say that's the way to go and capitalize more on the actual transaction?
Well, I think it's super interesting though, because again, they're talking about owning the 17 of the 20 largest MLSs, where they had like a sort of small window to actually get rid of Zillow, because a lot of these MLSs are obviously feeding Zillow. But now that Zillow is getting into like the broker game, I mean, that window is sort of closing in on Zillow too. So it'll be, again, it's an interesting thing. This is the first time I've heard of this. It's the first time I've heard of this company, but it's sort of exciting to hear that maybe there's like,
I think as agents and as brokers, and
keeps everyone bobbing and weaving.
We don't know what CoStar's vision for CoreLogic would be.
Right.
So, we're kind of all just guessing, including Brad. And if you read the article, there's no definitive, prediction on what they would do with CoreLogic. That being said, this would be a major competitor. I think we can all agree as real estate agents that a major competitor for Zillow would be healthy in the brokerage community, unless all of this money, you think about how much money is in Zillow and Redfin, who still hasn't lost money. They even mentioned them as a competitor, but they have a lot of money behind them. Open Door, certainly, who was mentioned, or now a CoreLogic CoStar partnership. If all of this money starts to shift towards the brokerage model that Zillow has, that would really be not good, potentially, for the brokerage community. Certainly for these names that were listed at the top, KW, Compass, Realogy, right? That would be not good for these large brokerages who rely so much of their margin, obviously the mortgage and all of that, but so much of their margin on having all of the agents working for them. But if there's a percentage of agents that are now, which we've seen, Redfin agents, Zillow agents, or potentially, and I'm just totally throwing this out there, CoStar agents.
Right.
That changes the game considerably.
Yeah. Well, and I think most times too, commercial is a little bit more money.
CoStar now switching, or not switching, right? They're a CoStar, they're a commercial data company for sure. But now getting into residential, what does that say about the future of commercial business? Are they hedging their bets a little bit? We've been questioning the commercial business here for a couple of years. Well, of course,
and it's now that you think about it, now you think of the temperature of it, it makes sense that they would go after a residential with the way that commercial is.
Timing seems good.
Timing seems very good
right now. So more to watch there. We'll see if that CoStar CoreLogic deal actually gets done. Be very interesting to see what CoStar's vision is for the company. We'll certainly keep you. I think Brad hit it on this opinion piece. We'll link it up. I think it's something to think about. Certainly for Zillow,
or at least know about,
and certainly something Zillow is going to be conferencing about. I'm certain of that over the coming time here.